Good evening, folks. I'm Carla Andrews. It is Sunday night, 8 o'clock, and it is time for our Motivated Minds Empower Hour. So I'm here tonight and every Sunday night to open up the conversation around mental health and wellbeing. And that's it. We have different themes each week. We then cover each week we go through our what went wells with our lovely audience that join in, and we share some good news stories and what's going on in the world of mental health and well-being. So yeah, it's Sunday. That means I'm rested. I've had today off. I spent it with my granddaughter, the first part, and then this afternoon I have been researching lots and lots of free resources for wellbeing in schools, because at the moment we're doing a big project with a local school, overhauling their mental health policies, how it's based in the curriculum, because next year from 2020 PSHE will have a big focus on mental health in the curriculum, which is really good news. So I've just been doing that all day today. So good evening. Remember to always give me a thumbs up or a hello as you tune in, so I can see who's watching, because I just get a number otherwise just in the corner rather than who's here. So I want to give out a big shout today as well to some beautiful people that I know it's their birthdays. So we've got lovely B. It's her birthday, and I hope she's had an amazing day. Alex, I do believe it's your birthday, although it said on Facebook it's today. Is it tomorrow or something? I'm not sure, but I believe it's this week, so happy birthday. So give us a wave to let me know that you're here, and then we can crack on. I've just been researching today. It led me to one of my favourite organisations, Action for Happiness, and their November calendar, which is getting launched obviously on Friday. It's the 1st of November, and the rundown to Christmas really. So I was just going through their calendar, and I've just put it on our Team Motivated page, and on Friday I'll pop it onto our Motivated Minds page. But it's got some absolutely wonderful things this month. So the action calendar is new things for November. So on Friday it says make a list of new things that you want to try out this month. So I look forward to doing that. That'll be good. Saturday, broaden your perspective, read a different newspaper, magazine or site. So another cracking one. And Sunday, enjoy new music today, play, sing, dance or listen. So Action for Happiness produces calendars every month, and I think have been doing so for about 18 months now, and every day there's an action. So for example, October was Optimistic October, September was Self-Care September. So they really have some great resources to do something every day. Good evening, Leanne. How are you? Thank you for joining in. So you can either download that straight from the Action for Happiness website, or you can get it via our social media. But always worth following Action for Happiness social media anyway. They really do post up some great stuff. So we'll be covering wellbeing wins a little bit later. Tonight I want to talk about I'm actually swinging between mindfulness and sort of self-regulation to assertiveness. So maybe you guys can choose which one you want out of those two themes. I started the day with thinking, oh, I'll do assertiveness, and then I've been working on mindfulness all day, so my brain's pumped with mindfulness activities. Hi, Sherry. Leanne's got a night off of work. Hey, that's a wellbeing win, Leanne. Leanne, I think it's the first time that you've tuned in on a Sunday night. What we do later on, the Empower Hour should last for the hour. What we do a little bit later on is try and think of our 3 well-being wins, and we share them. So have a mental note now of 3 things that have gone well for you in the past week. And I'm also going to be telling you guys about Ruby Wax, because I went to see her Monday night, which was rather awesome. So if you're interested in that, I can tell you how that evening went. So who else have I got with me? Let's have a look. Sometimes I have to scroll down, sometimes it just doesn't come up. So, and I've got some shy people tonight because they're not saying hello. So, okay, let's, so assertiveness or mindfulness, Leanne, choose one for me, or someone choose one, and then we can, and then I will chat a little bit about that. I've actually been, I've been practicing mindfulness for quite a few years now. It became, I suppose, I became more aware of it when I started running Motivated Minds, because it was a lot more in academics and all the research I was doing, it kept flagging up. And I mean, it's been around for thousands of years. And I just was made more aware of it probably about 5 years ago. I've been meditating probably for about, I think Ed was about 2 when I first tried my first ever meditation, literally just a 5 minute, and I absolutely loved it. So we can look at mindfulness and meditation next week, because Leanne's chose assertiveness. So we'll do everything about mindfulness and meditation next week. So tune in, and if you've got any questions that you want asked specifically around that, then I will make sure that we factor them into next week. So hi Claire, thank you for joining us. So okay, assertiveness. Assertiveness is a funny one, really, because it is something that a lot of people say to me, what is assertiveness? Like when I used to work with Job Centre, I used to do a module on assertiveness, and a lot of people didn't understand the definition. Now, the definition is having or showing a confident and forceful personality, but not forceful in the sense of like aggressive or rude. It's about having a demeanor and the strength to literally stick to your boundaries. It's something I've struggled with over the years, and still at times struggle with. I can't say that I am the most assertive person. I can be in some things I'm really passionate about, and then other things I'm like, oh, okay, because I doubt myself. So assertiveness, how can we work on assertiveness? First of all, let's think about body language, because language is so important, and the forefront of that is our body language. Now, think about assertive people. They have very good body stature. They wouldn't be bent over. They would probably give very good eye contact. So think about your demeanor when you're being assertive. That's really important. Then about your words. I mean, I'm terrible because in the past, I feel that I have to justify everything. Can anyone give me a hand? Well, we can only do thumbs on Motivated Minds, but thumbs up if you feel wrong for saying no. I've got myself into some pickles over the years of where I don't want to say no because I don't want to hurt the other person. I think that I'm going to hurt their feelings by saying no. And for that reason, my boundaries I've let my boundaries down. So my personal development is always ongoing, and so should everyone's be. Everyone's got strengths and weaknesses. So what we need to do is work out our strengths and be proud of them, but also be mindful of our weaknesses and work on developing them. So for me, body language, I'm generally okay with, apart from if you ever see me, if I ever do this, it's why I grew my fringe actually when I was about 15. My mum always gave me a eyebrow fringe, and then because I wanted to hide, because I don't like confrontation, I don't like saying no, I don't feel like I don't like to feel that I'm disappointing people. So if the hair comes down, luckily it's very rarely these days, but the fringe came into place when I was about it must have been about 14, 15. I wanted to hide away before then, but yeah, the fringe was my safe space when that come down. So body language, to practice good assertiveness, we should look people in the eye, have a strong body posture. Our verbal language, and this is what I've been learning, I suppose, over the last 10 years, is how do I say no? Because it's all well and good people saying to you, oh, you should have said no. Well, I know that, but how can I say no with it being polite, safe, respectful, and without sometimes I've had volatile relationships where I've been scared of their response by me saying no and by me having my boundaries. So I worked on my vocabulary, I suppose. So one of my top ones is people always asking to borrow money off of me, which I used to do right up until I had nothing. About 2 years ago, I was absolutely broke because I had given an awful lot of money away to some, at the time, very good friends. And I didn't want to say no because I knew that they were struggling. And I thought, well, I'd sold a house and bought a cheaper house, so I had a bit of money in the bank, and I thought, what harm could it do? I never realised actually what harm it would do. So how do you say no? So sometimes I allow myself to white lie, like, no, I'm really sorry, I haven't got anything. Certainly to my kids. Mum, can I borrow a tenner? No, I'm really sorry, I haven't got anything in my purse. Sometimes I'm learning I don't even have to give a reason, so just a simple no. And that's fine. I don't have to justify my reason for saying no. So that's something that we should all be working on, is there's no reason to justify. I think as children we're sort of somewhat taught to justify, well, why won't you do this, or why won't you do that? And as an adult, I took that and carried that behaviour on. So now I don't need to justify. Yesterday, someone come into my sphere, and they wanted something from me, and I knew that it would be detrimental, and I said no, and they asked why, and I tried to give the most honest reason I could, and they actually thanked me for being honest. Now, whilst we was having this conversation, I felt really uncomfortable, but I did it because I knew it was the right thing to do. So I was really proud of myself after. It really gave me that, oh, okay, so it's okay to just sort of say how I feel. Because I suppose that's another part of assertiveness, is we're so worried about expressing how we feel. We're worried how people will use that, if they'll use it against us, whether they will dismiss it, because they're all important factors to us. We don't want to feel hurt by defending our boundaries. So yesterday was a win for me. But think about your own times that you're want to be assertive and can't be. Reflect on it and think, okay, how was my body language? How did I verbalise what I wanted? Look at past experiences and run the conversations through your head, the other options. So there will be past in your time. There will be times in your past where you haven't been assertive. Look at what language you could have used and work on that going forward. Leanne's put, we have shop fitters at work and my work colleagues and I have real torment with being assertive and being confrontational. Yeah, the thing is with assertiveness, it's not being confrontational. There are, we're all allowed our our own thoughts, opinions, and just because ours differ with someone else's doesn't make it controversial, confrontational. Um, we can't all be exactly the same, and especially the more time you spend with people, this becomes more and more paramount. We can't all be identical in our emotions, our opinions, our thoughts. So there are going to be times where we all differ, which is good. So if, say, the shop fitters are in Leanne and they're doing something that, I don't know, say if they are talking about a conversation that makes you uncomfortable, let's just say, you can either blame it on someone else, like, oh, excuse me, I appreciate you having that conversation. It might be that that isn't quite appropriate because the customers might hear. So there are ways to sort of white fib around it, or there are ways to say, oh, I'm really sorry, but the conversation you were having isn't really sort of in keeping with this environment. So there are ways around it. We just have to find those words to vocalise them and manage to get them out of our out, right? Because this is where I get choked. Seriously, I always feel that I get and a lump in my throat and I can't express how I feel. But what I'm learning, I don't know whether it's old age or just working with more and more people and reading more and more texts, that I'm learning to vocalize how I feel. It's still not the easiest thing in the world. I would never say that I find it the easiest thing in the world, but it's something that we must develop. So, yeah, I mean, you can always message me, Leanne, if you've got a specific scenario in mind, and then maybe I can help you find those words. Yeah, I mean, I remember I had a builder here a couple of years ago that said to me, oh, I'm nearly done. If you just give me the last bit of money, I'll be back tomorrow anyway and I'll finish it. I've only got another sort of 2-3 days work. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to be confrontational. I didn't want to pee him off because otherwise he might do a shit job. He actually did a shit job anyway. Had to actually all be ripped down. But like a fool, I gave him the money because I wasn't using my assertiveness. I didn't say, well, actually, no, thank you very much. You can wait until you finish the job. I handed over the money. Now, I could have white lied. I could have said, well, I just haven't got it here today, but I will have it by the time you finish. I could have just stood my ground saying no. We agreed at the very beginning of the job that I would pay you on completion. I worried more about him than I did me. and it actually bit me in the arse big time. I ended up being £5,000 down with a build that had to be ripped down and restarted again. So just with your assertiveness, set your boundaries. Set your boundaries is number one. Use your body language, nice positive body language, good eye contact, stand up straight, and then find your words. Find your words. Your worth is more important than their worth. Doesn't mean to say it's got to be a row. Hasn't ever got to be conflict, okay? Even people that disagree haven't got to have fights about it. Sometimes we can just say, well, look, we'll agree to disagree on this one. I'm not going to fall out with you over this, but these are my boundaries. So I hope that gives a bit of insight to assertiveness, guys. Good evening, Alex. I was just saying that is it your birthday tomorrow, or because on Facebook, did it say today, or people were wishing you happy birthday today? But it's a bit later, isn't it? So let me know. So yeah, I hope we have considered advertising Basildon Food Bank. Oh, okay. Well, there's lots of food banks locally, so if everyone can work towards advertising them, and then it helps our community, doesn't it? So it's fabulous. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on assertiveness, and if you want to private message me and discuss where you are on your assertiveness scale, 0 being absolutely rubbish, 10 being phenomenal and you don't feel that you've got a problem, but you've learnt from life experience and you're happy to share some of the top tips, that would be wonderful. That would be phenomenal, guys. So that's the assertiveness. How have you spent your weekend, guys? Let me know. Wellness wins. Let's talk wellness wins. First of all, we'll do my 3 wellness wins. So number 1, going to see Ruby Wax with lots of lovely people from Motivated Minds. We went Monday. Palace Theatre, I've never been there before, in Southend. Very quaint old theatre. She was brilliant. It was her How to Be Human show, and I loved the intro. She said she wrote books on mental ill health, and then everyone all of a sudden had mental ill health. So she wrote this book, How to Be Human, in the hope that everyone will start being human. And I really like that, because actually, as a Motivated Minds, I always say we work on being human first. So yeah, Ruby was fabulous, as were the monk and the neuroscientist. So really just backed up what was said throughout the book. If you haven't read it, it's one of my recommended reads. So it's fabulous on on anxiety, around anxiety in the sense of the brain and its function and the role of anxiety, and the neuroscientist's point of view, that we can go through training our brains negatively over a period of years, and actually we can also retrain our brains more positively, and that's certainly what Motivating Minds tries to help people do, to create change. And then the monk brings in all of his mindfulness techniques, so it's rather fabulous. So yeah, that was my Monday night. That was definitely my wellbeing win. I certainly know Friday I had an email from the Royal Society of Public Health. Do you remember we was at their awards last week? We got shortlisted, but we were the runner-up in the health on the high street category. But on Friday, their innovation and development team emailed us, and they want to work in partnership with the Happy Hub. So that's definitely a number 2 win. And a number 3 win is we might be. No, I'm going to save that one until that one's 100% definite. So my third wellbeing win, I got out of the house today and I enjoyed a bit of mindful walking. I also went shopping. Didn't buy anything, just window shopping. But I really enjoyed the warmth of the sun on my face today. The sun was nice and warm, but there was definitely a chill in the air. And it was just a lovely autumn day. I don't know what it was like where you guys are, but I really enjoyed my Sunday. So yes, they're my 3 wellness wins. So share with me your wellness wins. Think about 3 things that have gone really well for you this week. Leanne has shared hers. 1, not being at work. Excellent. Number 2, cleaning my home. Oh, absolutely, Leanne. I can totally understand that, because when we have a clean home, it actually helps in my head anyway. It actually helps clear my head. I can focus a lot more when my house is clean, tidy, and everything has a home. Now, I know you guys, I've told you in the past, I'm having an extension done at the moment. So my house, we had the footings dug in the last couple of weeks. So my floor is literally, I'm finding mud everywhere. It's my son that has been digging the footings, and all down my door frames, I'm finding mud. I'm finding mud. Just, I mean, the mat is just, it's going to have to be thrown away at the end. It's just like, can't you take your shoes off just on the doorstep and then step into the house without mud? And then when you are coming in all muddy, can you not just go straight upstairs, get changed, instead of just putting mud everywhere? And I will show you my house when it's done, but my house is all white. So yes, you can. So nice clean home, Leanne. Well done. Number 3, attending church this morning. That's fabulous. So 3 fantastic wellbeing wins. Good evening. The lovely Catherine has joined us today as well. Catherine joined us for Ruby Wax Monday night. It was her birthday treat from me to be able to take her. Did you enjoy it, Catherine? Give us a thumbs up if you did. I was just saying what a quaint little theatre the Palace is in Southend. Rubbish for parking, so if you ever do end up going there, leave in plenty of time. We had to sort of park down the street. But yeah, apart from that, it was fabulous. So at the beginning of the hour, we talked assertiveness and how that how finding our voice to stick within our boundaries is really important. It can be used in every area of life, that our relationships with our children, with our partners, at work. So being assertive is really important. Even getting on the bus, even just assertiveness is definitely a life skill that if you're not assertive at the moment, to work on. So I'll tell you another assertiveness story where I feel, because sometimes I can be really assertive in some ways and not in others. I ordered from my favourite Indian, an amazing Indian in terms of their food, a meal that was by delivery a couple of weeks ago. And I have used this restaurant for about the last 18 months since I found them, and they are marvellous. The best Indian I've ever eaten in my life, and I've eaten a few. It was the 4th delivery in a row that I got that there was an error on my order. Now, that frustrated me. That really frustrated me. And I phoned up and I said, look, I'm really sorry to do this again, but you've actually left something off of my order. And the gentleman said to me, you're lying, like you're just doing this to get free food. I said, hold on, you can tell, I would imagine, on your computer screen that this is the fourth time I've phoned, yes, but I've never asked for anything free. I've only ever asked for what I've paid for. I've never asked for any compensation or of any type. And he basically called me a liar. I drove down there. I was like, right, okay, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to come down there and I'm going to bring you food back. And I went into the restaurant and he was hiding out back. And I spoke to his staff and I said, look, I've never asked for anything apart from what I've ordered. I stayed very calm. So that's the difference between assertiveness and aggression, is I stayed calm and I was just like, I ordered this and I didn't receive it. Eventually he come out and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, we found it out back. He said, oh, I'll give you money. I'll give you this. And I was like, well, no, actually, you called me a liar. Yeah, I'm not going to stand for that. You called me a liar and I'm a fairly good customer and I really like your food. And he's like, oh, he ended up giving me my money back, which wasn't the purpose, but I maintained my assertiveness. It's not about getting aggressive. It's not about losing your cool. You know, sometimes when things happen to you and you just go bang, right? So that's not being assertive. That's definitely losing your cool. So assertiveness is staying calm and just, as I said earlier, putting in those boundaries. So our boundaries are so important and something we're not taught to do, or I wasn't taught to do from being young. And it's, as I said earlier, it's not about conflict. It's not about causing conflict with people. It's about just saying, well, actually, I prefer to do things this way. This works better for me, or this is where I'm going to be, and that's where you are, and this is where we can meet in the middle. So that's what assertiveness is. So, yeah, if you want to share any of your experiences of where you've been assertive, or and you've then walked away rather proud of yourself, or where you have struggled with being assertive. And as we talked about earlier in the hour, it's about that, finding that vocabulary and learning and moving forward. So often we kick ourselves about what we can't do, and we get into this negative loop of what's going on about what we can't do, and I should have done it this way, and I should have. And actually, we need to change that focus to, okay, so this happened this time, but next time I want to achieve this. Yeah, and I'm going to use that learning experience. Life is about learning. Very rarely do we get it right first time. Good evening, Paul, Charlene, and Lou. Nice for you all to drop in. We was talking assertiveness at the beginning. I shared my wellness wins, and so did the lovely Leanne. And then we just nipped back to assertiveness because I thought of another area of where we're about assertiveness. So next week we're going to be talking mindfulness. So if there's any questions that you guys have got about mindfulness and mindfulness practice, then make sure you DM them over to me, and I can make sure that I answer those questions in next week's Empower Hour. So, as a quick recap to the new followers, my wellness wins were definitely Ruby Wax, was the partnership between Royal Society of Public Health and their innovation and development team. So that partnership will be fabulous. And I don't think I even. Oh no, my third one was the sunshine on my face today when I went window shopping. So, and was walking around outside with that autumn sunshine on my face and crackling leaves underfoot. Isn't that just a wonderful experience? I hope that some of you have managed to get out and experience that this autumn. So, yeah. So how are we all? How are you all doing? Let me know. As I said, mindfulness next week. And if you want any other themes covered, I also told you guys about the Action for Happiness. Fantastic organisation. They launch a calendar every month. Get ready for your November one. I've posted it up on Team Motivated. So for any of those people that I know in the flesh, we have a private group called hashtag Team Motivated. That's in there already, and it will go up on the here on the Motivate Minds site on Friday. Lou wants the wellness cards. You want the wellness cards? The empowering question cards, Lou. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Right. Is that you putting hearts up, Lou? Right, okay. Right. I'm gonna place them down. Lou, just shout stop, and I will stop on one, and you can choose it this week rather than me choose them randomly. Because funny enough, when I choose them, I always end up with the same ones. Oh. Lovely Karen's just joined in. Love Karen. She's a great friend to Motivated Minds. Right, Lou, you love this. Right, okay. Yeah, so I hope you're well, Karen. It's great that you've joined in as well. So stop, please. Right, okay. And I love the smell of autumn. Oh, yeah, I'll make you right, Leanne. Right, okay. Who or what defines the contents of your life, Lou? Who or what defines the contents of your life? Do you know there's 52 of these cards, and I can never remember which ones we've had and which ones we haven't. And bear in mind, we only have 2 or 3 a week. So, oh, Donna's got a stop one as well. Hold on. Right, wonderful. One for Donna. Right, okay. So we can all do this one first. Who or what defines the contents of my life? Oh, okay. Content, for me, my degree, my nan and granddad, my kids, my grandkids, and Motivated Minds. If I could have on my tombstone what defines my content, I would say my nan and granddad teaching me happiness, my degree teaching me who I am, my kids and my grandkids fulfilling my heart with love, and Motivated Minds for connecting people and bringing the very best of people together and showing that there is hope. So that would be mine. Leanne has put my children. That's wonderful. Catherine's just joined in with day out. Her wellness win was a day out with her son at Duxford. Excellent. Oh, I love Duxford. Have you all been up there at some point? Duxford Air Museum with the all the different aircraft and stuff from all our history with regards to flight. So that's good. Donna has said that defines the contents of her life, her family. Leanne's added her ambitions. That's great. Louise has also put my family. I live for my family. I'm inspired to give them the best life, hence why I'm going to my degree and enjoy every second with them. Absolutely, Lou. How's your degree going? You was writing an essay. You was ill last week. The week before you was writing your essays. I hope that you're better now, and let us know how your essays are going. So, right, Donna also chose one. Oh, actually, that's the same question, asked in a different way. Oh, I don't like that one, Donna. Sorry. Okay, a very deep one. What is my worst fear, and how does it limit my possibilities in life? Oh, okay. For me, being homeless, having nowhere to live, is one of my worst fears. And how does it limit my possibilities in life? I would just worry about having a home for my kids, because I can always look after me. But the minute you have kids, you have to look after them. And I always assume that when they get to 18, that'd be wonderful. I don't have to worry about them anymore. And although they would probably say I'm a cow to them at times, um, being able to have a roof over their head and keep them safe is really important to me. And it's my worst fear if I was to lose that. And how does that limit my possibilities in life? It makes me work harder. That's for sure. That's probably one of my biggest drivers, is to make sure that I'm always earning money to keep our house over our heads, because I have been homeless and it was an awful experience, very terrifying. Um, and my other worst fear, and one that I probably try not to focus on, but probably should in a way, because what my other worst fear is dying. Um, and how does that limit my possibilities in life? I know that I'm not physically healthy, and I should be, because that makes my fear worse. But then I work harder and to try and keep a roof over my head, and I haven't had the luxury of life-work balance yet. I've always been a have to build situation. So, yeah, that's a very deep one. My worst fear. Um, I just would worry about my boys, because we haven't got the biggest family, and if I was to die, they'd be lost because I'm their mum. So, and if you flip this on the positives of both of these, so what is your worst fear, and what can you do to um, minimize those fears coming to fruition? And for me, they do. I can minimize them. I could look after my physical health more. And about my mortgage, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm coming into a situation now where I'm not having to worry as much, because my jigsaw pieces are all starting to fit together. So, yeah, very deep, very deep. Okay, so let's have a look, see what you guys have put. So, my worst fear is losing my parents or any of my family, as it's the most painful thing in life. I can understand that. I can understand that, Donna. Um, yeah, I lost people that were close to me a long time ago, and that's the thing with grief. It doesn't ever stop hurting, does it? You never. Um, yeah, grief's a hard one, and yeah, it never stops hurting. But we can also remember the moments that we had with these fantastic people. So, my granddad taught me to eat donuts without licking my lips. That's definitely one of my top memories from my granddad. And my nan was just so loving and patient. So, yeah, I hope that I can live those traits into my children. I certainly have taught my kids to eat donuts without licking their lips. And my kids wouldn't actually warrant me with the word patient. Um, Not yet. Maybe they will do when they're older and wiser. At the moment, mummy is not patient. I just hope that everything that I'm teaching them will give them the tools to live a happy and healthy life. Louise, she's updating us on, she's done 1,000 words of her essay. I have 2 weeks to get my next essay of 1,500 words in. Flu is finally going, but that was horrendous. Put me back a week of studying, but I'll make up the time and I will do this. I want it too much. Excellent. That's excellent. When we look at our goals, it is always really important for our motivation to keep going, of why we're doing the goal in the first place. So if Lou wants it to aid her family and create that better life, that's her driver, that's her motivational driver. So it's really important that we identify these. So Leanne has said, my worst fear is something bad happening to my kids. I limit this by staying in one place. Yeah, we all have these terrible fears, and it's funny because we don't talk about them, really, do we? That's the thing with our mental health and our well-being, is sometimes we don't have these hard conversations, the ones that really sort of rock our core, but maybe we should have, because we can find commonalities with some people. We can learn to verbalize how that feels, and we can also learn how to put things in a positive light, so it doesn't hold us back. It doesn't limit, though. My me does. It doesn't limit me, though, but my me does. I'm glad it doesn't limit you, Donna. That's wonderful. Shane has said, hey. Hi, Shane. The lovely Mavis has joined us in. Good evening, Mavis. So, right, I'm going to choose one more. We'll do one more mindful card. I've got some other ones at work. I have to bring them home. What kinds of situations? Oh, this is a good one. Right, okay. What kind of situations do I avoid? What does this evasion say about my previous experience or beliefs? Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So what kinds of situations do I avoid? You remember earlier when we were talking about assertiveness and confrontation? I've always tried to avoid that because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So I have tried to avoid things in the past, but actually it always gets worse. So I've learned to I'm learning to work on my vocabulary and express how I feel in a kind manner, to put things forward. What other situations do I avoid? I think that's probably my biggest one. Everything else I go in like a steam train, which, if anyone knows me, that's just who I am. I'm like, like a freight train, non-stop. So what does this fashion say about my previous experience or beliefs? Well, I know my previous experiences, a lot of my confrontation, I know where all that comes from. That comes from quite a traumatic past. So how do you work on that? It's a hard one. Just little bit by little bit, I suppose, baby steps. Certainly when it comes to confrontation and saying how you feel, I was always repressed, I think is the politest way to put it, as a child. So I suppose every step forward in the last 10 years has helped me, and I'm sure in the next 10 I will come on strides, because that's where life takes us, isn't it? It has to be little bit by little bit sometimes, but in the grand set scheme of things, time moves on, and actually you've taken great leaps in time, leaps forward, both with your wisdom and with your mental health and everything, I would hope. So Leanne's also said, same as Donna, I still look forward to moving eventually. Excellent. Situations to avoid over endorsing in alcohol and free wills times, the carefreeness of life. Yeah. Sometimes we just have to be mindful of our habits that we're forming. So sometimes with some situations they can creep up on us because we've done things without being mindful, and then before we know it they're actually bad for us. So avoiding those situations is definitely good for us. Yeah. Right. So they were quite good this week, weren't they? I will put them away back on the shelf, and I will remember the affirmation ones that we've got at work. We've just got loads of new stocking at work as well, which is fabulous. So if you guys are looking for Christmas presents for people, we stock all of this kind of stuff. What else have I got in this week? Stock wise, loads of bits for Christmas. So all to help people feel better about themselves. Yes. So right, okay. So we've got 9 minutes left. 9 minutes. So let's tell you some what we've got going on next Saturday. Karen, I know that this has been one for you in the past. We've got our Relax and Reboot Spa Day. If anyone's not working next Saturday, I will be going to Colchester and spending a hard day at work in a jacuzzi or a hot tub or a hydrotherapy pool, chatting to some wonderful people, everything about wellbeing. So yeah, that's next Saturday if anyone fancies joining us for that. What else have we got going on? We've got our social night, which was really popular last month. We've got that on Wednesday the 13th. We're going bowling over at Basildon there, and Donna, she is phenomenal. She is one of our fantastic volunteers. She has organised a shopping event at Pasha Restaurant in Billericay High Street on Monday the 4th of November. All of the proceeds will be helping us raise awareness and run programs in Billericay, and support local residents with everything wellbeing related. So yeah, so that's the 4th. The 2nd, the Saturday, is Spa Day. The 4th is Pasha Community Wellbeing Christmas event, and the 13th is our social event, bowling social event. And we've also kicking off on the 1st of November our Christmas campaign this year, which is building 50 hampers for vulnerably housed people and 25 rucksacks for homeless people full of Christmas goodies and essential items to see them over the new year. And of course, to support Motivated Minds, we are running an excellent Christmas raffle. We've got a hamper that was is worth over £120. We've got loads and loads of bits all in our raffle. So if you're in Basildon, or if you want a raffle ticket, just come and let us know. Yes, so that's, I think, if anyone's watching that knows me and volunteers for us, remind me of anything else you need me to mention, please. So yeah, that's where we're at. Mavis has just shared something that doesn't serve me or my friends. Don't add any knowledge in my life, or I am not serving. So yeah, so something that doesn't serve me or my friends, or add any knowledge in your life, you don't have in your life, Mavis. I think I've read that right. So it's coming to the end of the hour. I'm available on direct message, so if anyone wants to drop me a quick line, I will be around for a little bit. I'm just currently working on our resources and our newsletter for the next month. If you do want to subscribe to our newsletter, then just again direct message me your email address. We've got some really exciting plans for the new year. Myself and the lovely Jo were working on our personal challenges, and we're creating like a passport for next year. Where January, I think we're planning to do 10,000 steps a day. February, joining a park run. March, I think, is swimathon. We've got all different physical personal challenges, including our skydive. Jo wants to do skydive in July again. We've got Snowdon in May, so we've got loads going on, and me and the team are working really hard to get Christmas sorted and to go running into the new year. Full speed ahead. You wouldn't really expect anything less from Team Motivated, would you? So Shane's asking, do we need any help at the Happy Hub? As you guys know, absolutely, we always need help. Just pop in and see where we can fit you in. We're always looking for people that are eager to make a difference in the community and start sharing some of the wellbeing tools that help us live happier and healthier. So that's wonderful. I thank you so much for joining in and taking part and sharing your thoughts, your wisdoms, your fears with me tonight. It's been wonderful that you take the time out and join me. I wish you all an amazing week ahead, and let's go sharing some of this kindness and love in the world. All right, take care. Good night. See you later. Bye. Mwah.